It's a pleasure to have you join us today on the program Healthy Living. My name is Adesuwa Osa Owagye. The prevalence, self-care and management, and of course prevention of diabetes mellitus is what we want to talk about today. How do you eat? What's your food like? What's the line of diet like? How do you manage yourself? Do you know the prevalence of diabetic in our society today? It's of course on the very, very extremely high side. A lot of persons are coming down with it, perhaps because of our lifestyle and other things involved. But we have somebody who's going to be talking to us today about diabetes and then the prevalence of it, and of course how to prevent it and how to live with it and manage it well if you already have it. It is not a death sentence if you manage it well, according to doctors, but if you do not, and if you don't even know that you have it, you may just wake up one morning and find out that you are down, and before they know what's happening, that person may pass on. So join me as I make welcome Mr. Gbenga Oladipo. He is a dietitian. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ma.
It's been a while. Okay, let's quickly look at what diabetes is. What is diabetes, please?
Yeah, it's just a common language. Everybody know that, oh, it's high blood glucose. That's what people think diabetes is. But when you get to meet professionals, they will tell you that, oh, it's hyperglycemia, it could be hypoglycemia.
Okay.
But majorly,
Hyper, when it's
high,
and
when it's low.
Okay.
It's just like a glucose intolerance. That's
Okay.
that's what they actually say, that it's not actually control. It's probably going up and going down.
So that's what it is.
That's
now.
majorly.
So when it is high, what's the person's problem? When it is low, what is the problem?
Yes,
too?
the problem is when it's high, it means that the insulin that meant to regulate the blood glucose is not working well. Probably it's not sufficient, or probably it's the pancreas that produces not produced enough one to work on exactly the amount of food that person actually consumed.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Yes,
so when it is low sometime, probably as a result of that person is on medication, and then probably that person take certain drugs, and then the food that drug meant to work on is not enough. It actually cracked the blood glucose. And
what's supposed to be the normal level
of like sometimes, like it's actually put in some elderly people. They might have it at probably 160 their milligram per DL, and then in some cases, some people like, okay, when you wake up in the morning, you do your fasting blood sugar. Probably you have about 90 something, 100, 120, but normal range is not above 140.
Not above 140.
When it is high, it's okay. If above 140, that is something is happening.
Something is happening. So when it's above 140, there's cause for concern.
Yes, something is happening.
Wow. What about those who do not know that they have it?
Yes, that's why as we're talking, we are going to talk about the self-care, like you just mentioned. It means that everybody need to be at alert, aware of, I need to check my blood sugar. So
everybody, it's important that everybody should get a glucometer now.
Yes, of course, that everybody just check that, okay, probably I feel headache. Some people that probably if I have headache now, it's just malaria. If I'm having some pain in my body, just malaria. Or probably if I have a kind of blunt vision, it's just malaria. Then you need to check. It might not be malaria. So it could be something else. So you need to check yourself.
So while we were talking outside before we came into the city, we talked about the prevalence. What's the prevalence like now as we speak?
Yes, we actually have a body that does that. They call them IDF. They are International Diabetes Federation. So these are the people that have the data of it, and they said in the next 10 to 20 years, probably in 2025, that the number of diabetes will increase to 333 millions, and worldwide. And they now said out of that number, that 90% of it will be type 2 diabetics. So it means that it's actually preventable. It can be controlled, and when you know what caused that type 2 diabetes, just like lifestyle. eating habit, maybe that person is living a kind of sedentary lifestyle.
Yes.
Causes, so we can prevent it.
Okay.
That's just what data is telling us.
Okay, so talk to us about type 1 and type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, that type 1 is just like genetic one.
Okay.
Probably someone like, oh, my parents have it. That's what they call it, metabolic something like, okay, it's metabolic disease.
Okay.
That it means that probably there's a kind of malformation of this when that person was born.
Yes.
Probably the insulin is not there at all.
Not there.
It's not there at all. So in that type 2 one, there's insulin. Maybe something happened because of the lifestyle, because of habit, because of the way that person lives, is alive, actually caused that thing. So it means that that type 2 is what actually more pronounced, and it can be easily prevented.
So how can one know that what he or she is suffering from is type 1 or type 2?
Yes, that's why when you come to the hospital, the endocrinologists that have the knowledge of it, they tell them, okay, you are suffering from type 1, you are suffering from type 2. They have the way they check it. It's their own job. So when you come to them, when you come to the hospital, they diagnose you. That's why it's not good to be doing self-medication. When you notice something is wrong with you, you go to the hospital.
But unfortunately, a lot of us do self-medication.
That's
you have headache, you're running to one chemist shop or pharmacy close to you and say, give me PCM, give me something to cure this headache.
Yes,
you just take it, the headache subsides for a day or two, it continues again. So, oh, this headache again.
Yes,
one keep like pumping oneself with medication without seeing a doctor, and that's quite dangerous.
That's what, yes,
self-medication is dangerous. Please know it today,
yes,
that not every headache needs drug.
No.
Okay, and if you take drugs like a day or two, it does not subside, I think that one should go to the doctor. You even see it on the pack of the of drugs that you buy.
Yes,
if symptoms persist after 3 days, please visit your doctor. But unfortunately, people will not visit doctors. Somebody will come and ask me, what drug did you take for that your headache? You know, we are not all the same. Now, should we be concerned about diabetes in our society now?
Yes, we have to be very, very careful, because it has a long-time effect. So what I mean by long-time effect, it means that if diabetes is not properly managed, it can lead to what the doctor call nephritis. It's actually, it means kidney failure or retinopathy. It's actually mean that probably that person have blunt vision.
Yes.
Or it could actually be neuropathy. That's neuropathy simply means that when someone have like a foot ulcer, and then it leads to amputation. That's what it means, and it can actually lead to sexual malfunction, like diversion. What they mean that person does not have appetite to just even do the way he should do as a man at all. It could be, it actually lead to like this cardiovascular diseases, a lot of things. So we need to be more concerned about this, because people don't really know, like, oh, if they said, okay, someone has diabetes somewhere, they said, I cannot have it, I cannot have it, I cannot. Whereas you are not checking your lifestyle, you are not checking the way you eat food.
Okay, let's look at some of the causes of diabetes.
Yes, majorly. Like I said, when I was giving analysis of prevalence, I've told you about 90% of this number I just mentioned. That's about 299.7 million. That's 90%.
Yes.
Are probably type 2 diabetes. It means that lifestyle actually causes it.
Lifestyle.
Yes, eating habit causes it.
Okay.
Sedentary lifestyle actually causes it. But when you go to some other causes, you're talking about the genetic, that's what I said, type 1. Or probably medication. That's something actually like they live on polypharmacy. What I mean by polypharmacy, like they can take any type of drugs. Like you just mentioned that there's someone has headache now. You're like, oh, I have to go and take paracetamol, a lot of things. Just be taking things,
take drugs.
Drugs, like it can actually cause it too. And then when we are not mindful of the way we live our lives, that some people, that's what I was talking to someone, I said some people just go to probably restaurants and then they want to buy food and say, okay, give me apple, and they buy apple, they just take plenty of apple, they take it in the morning, eat apple in the morning, and they have to say, I like apple, the same thing apple in the afternoon, and they have, I like apple, you take apple also. Ask the person, what did you do? What type of work did you do? Oh, I'm working in one office, I work in one back or something. But he likes swallow. And they don't know that the swallow have the time you should eat it. And then even though the type of people or the category of people that can actually eat swallow in particular time or in particular time or in particular feeding interval.
So we should be mindful of what we eat.
Yes, of course, it's important.
Okay.
Because we must save our society.
But I've had cause to discuss with a group of persons, and they say that eating the kind of food that, you know, one really have to eat is quite expensive. How true is that? Because they say, okay, gari is cheap, gari is accessible, gari, you know, you find people going for gari, carbohydrates and all of that. And don't forget that in the society that we live in, our food, all the food, like nearly 90% of what we consume is carbohydrate.
Yes, of course. You see, the food, anytime we want to plan any meal for anybody, we consider the available food around you.
Okay.
So we plan based on locally available food that you have around you. That's nothing like expensive, that nothing like probably this food is too cost. No, you eat based on what you have, and it must be balanced. All the food group must be represented. You must have both micronutrients and micronutrients representing your food if you want to eat balanced food. So when you are diseased or you have one ailment or the other, that does not mean that you should not eat the right food. You have to eat the right food in the right proportion that will help your body, that will even help your system, even in relation with the drug, the type of drug you are taking. Is important. But
so drug must work with food.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. That's why we made mention of, like, when we're talking about iPad and iPod.
Yes.
I've told you that the drug that person takes work on the food.
On the food.
And then if the food is not enough that will carry that drugs, it crashes that blood sugar, and that's why you have hypo.
And when the food is also too much, there's a problem.
There's it high too.
Oh.
So it means that the calories need to be counted. The person food and the drug need to work hand in hand so that will help the person.
Wow. All right, the program is Healthy Living on independent television, and I hope by now you're getting ready to call. We have a dietitian in the house who is going to answer all of your questions. You said that when you take drugs, you need to take your food too in portions to, you know, to match with the kind of drugs you are taking. You don't just take drugs. Some of us take drugs on empty stomach.
Yes, of course.
And some of us take drug with inadequate food. Some of us take drug that is not enough for the kind of food that we consume.
Yes.
So how do we walk this path to make sure that you don't take too much food or less food, so that the drugs that we're taking will work?
Yes, of course.
Because a lot of us don't know this.
Yes,
we don't know that you have to take food according to the drugs and drugs according to your food.
When you go to the hospital and then probably you meet your doctor, your doctor will never give you drugs without calculate the amount of drug given to you, and they will tell you that, okay, this is the amount you must take in the morning, this is the amount you must take in the afternoon. It's in grams. So the same way, when you are taking that kind of drugs, the same way food will calculate to go along with your drugs. It must be positive interaction. It must not be negative. So when you are eating food, you consider the drug, you consider the work you do, so that the energy given to you will equate the energy you are spending out. So when you spend energy out, your input will equate your output.
Really?
Yes.
This is mathematics when it comes
do you understand now?
Yes.
So it means that the work you do, go with your food. The drug you take, go with your food.
Go with your food.
Your gender, go with your food. So when you calculate all these things, you don't have problem. You have a very healthy life. You eat a very good food, and then you are living fine. If mosquito bites you just bite you for fun. You just wake up the following morning, you bounce, and the people say, okay, what are you taking? You've never gone to the hospital to see the
What about some of us who fast? You say, okay, you see that some persons have some kind of ailment, and they believe that when they don't eat, that ailment will, like, it's like wishing the ailment away and say, okay, I'm not going to eat. We involve fasting, we skip meals.
And then that was just said now, skipping meals.
Yes, we skip meals.
It's dangerous when you are taking drugs. In fact, the drug given to you, your doctor already calculated that drug that it's work for 24 hours.
But hold on, doctors don't tell you that take 2 tablets of such a medicine in the morning, afternoon, and they say take after food. But they don't actually tell you the portion of food you should take. So that's why some persons just take drug on empty stomach. Some just keep it and say, some they just take maybe a glass of juice or something and say, okay, I'm done. Take your drugs and you're on the move.
No, that's not the way.
Okay.
If you meet a doctor are to prescribe your drug for you. And then sometimes when that doctor notices that you have nutritional intervention, or there must be a way that doctor will send you to go and meet a dietitian, because you already know that you need nutritional intervention, and he asks you, oh, you need to work on your food. I will send you or refer you to a dietitian to see you. So it happens some cases like that. But some patients, even though if doctor asks them that this how you should go about, some people don't listen. They say it's not food I've been cooking for my family for like 10 years, 20 years ago. They don't really take it serious. And if you look at all the problems we have in our society today, about 85% of it caused by what we consume, what we eat. So people don't understand. You have to take what you are taking into your body, you have to take it very serious. It's important. You must, if you want to live fine.
So can food help us with type 2 diabetes, our eating pattern? How can it help?
Yes, food is a primary therapy that we prescribe when it comes to diabetes, because it's a problem of like, what you take, what you spend out, how your body utilizes it, how much glucose you have in your blood. So it's a primary thing. Other therapy go along with it.
Okay.
In fact, when you are taking drugs, if your food is not managed fine, you can have the stable glycemic control. So your food needs to be going along with the drug you are taking.
Okay.
Direct therapy or medical nutrition therapy is a primary therapy that needs to be considered. In fact, in some cases, when doctor notices that this just pre-diabetes, they will send that person to dietitian straight.
Okay.
They won't even ask that person to take drugs.
That's if the person goes to a right hospital, because there are so many hospitals where the doctor will treat you for all the ailments, even when he knows that that's not his field. He just wants to treat you, and then they treat you, and then he will also be the nutritionist, the dietitian is everything. You know, so a lot of patients
maybe actually
are not,
private hospital.
In most private hospitals,
because
but a lot of persons patronize private hospitals because they believe that government hospitals, the bottleneck is just too tight for them. You first go to one point, from one point to another, from one point to another. Like if you're going to go to UBTH, you start from the beginning.
Yes, of course.
You see the general doctors, or how do they call them?
Okay, the DPC.
Yes, you go to the DPC first. When you're done with that, they now make a referral. You know, they feel that the bottleneck is long. Let me just go to. After all, is it not the same doctors we are going to see? But I think we should educate our viewers on the issue of going to a hospital where you have all the professionals, all the consultants and specialists.
Yes, of course, it's important.
It's
actually important. You need to go to a place where right people will treat you. Right people will treat you. You don't need to go because you have a kind of stress in a place and then you are running away from it, when you know that you will get the best services from that place. So, like for example, sorry to mention my, where I work.
No, go ahead.
For example, in UBTH, like the way we work there, when we notice that a patient need additional attention from somewhere else, seek help from other, field, the doctor will refer them to the person to go and see the person.
Okay.
So because they want them to have a very good estate, and then they want them to actually get well soon. So because it's actually a pride for a doctor when you are treating someone and that person gets better. So you be proud of yourself that, okay, I know what I'm doing, I'm happy. So they send patients to different people to take care of them.
Okay.
Yes, it's important. Nobody cannot, no person can just sit there and say, okay, I'm on and all. I can take everything. No.
Okay, we didn't conclude the skipping of meal thing. So I want to take your mind back to that because I skip meals.
Okay.
And I know a lot of ladies, who are like plus size, they skip meals.
Yes.
And then some of us fast and diet.
I know. It's actually happened.
I want you to tell us if there are dangers in that. And some will tell you do keto, keto this, keto that.
There's zero danger. There's zero danger. So what I used to tell people, look at yourself. You have a car. And then you said, this car, I'm taking it to Lagos. You can't buy fuel that will take you to probably what's it called this place? Probably Okada. Or that will take you to Ishagam.
Okay.
When you know that you are going to Lagos.
Go to Lagos.
That vehicle will stop on the way. It means that you have to buy fuel that will take you to Lagos.
To Lagos.
The same thing. That's the same way our body system works. So if you have to feed yourself, you must give yourself food that will carry you to do your daily activities. So if you don't give that your body what it requires, what it needs, you are killing that body gradually. Now, all your cells in your body, they need energy to do their function, to replicate, reproduction, whatever you name you call it. So if you don't give your body what your body requires, you are telling that body that I want to kill you, I'm killing you gradually, I'm killing you gradually, but it's not something that you can see immediately. But as time goes on, you notice yourself, you're actually losing strength. You notice yourself, you are not fine. Sometimes you just be sitting down, you have side headache. You say something's wrong with you, you go and take paracetamol. It's not paracetamol. Your body is telling you that I need glucose, give me energy. You are killing me.
So skipping food is dangerous.
It's dangerous. In fact, you cannot replace fruit as your main food. It's not done. You have to eat the right food in the right proportion that you need yourself. And when you are taking fruit, you are taking fruit for fullness. What I mean by fullness, when you just take small portion of food now, maybe you are the type of person that eat bulky before. Then because of this program that you actually listen to, say, okay, I want to eat right now.
I want to eat right now.
When you first started, you might not really, okay with it. Probably you take your breakfast now before 2-3 hours. Oh, you feel like, hunger won't kill me. I have to take something.
Please take something.
And that kind of situation, you look for fiber, you take fruit. The food does not actually contribute to your calorie. You eat it as many as you can.
What kind of fruit
like
would that
probably
be?
Like garden hairs and cucumber.
Okay.
You take it as many as you can. It makes you full. Till the next meal, the time you eat your next meal, it prepares you for that time. And then that would, if your stomach full with the food that you are taking, that does not stop you of taking your normal food.
You just
when
have
it's
to
time,
take it.
You take it, because even though your stomach even contains it, because that food, the food you are taking in your stomach does not fill any space of food in you. You are just taking it for fullness. That okay, let me just prepare myself so that I will not feel like I'm hungry or something. Let me just take this food. So when it's time for me to take my lunch, I take my lunch. That's the way it is. So skipping meals,
yes,
is dangerous.
And another thing, in between meals, you've eaten breakfast. We're not talking about fruit now. You're eating breakfast, you find out that you are hungry, you're snacking on biscuits, on meat pies, on donuts and all of that. Do you consider that as dangerous?
Yes, you can actually skip on them if you have someone that can calculate everything you eat for you.
Okay.
You can take, oh, I want to take chin-chin, I want to take pop-off, I want to take chips, I want to take I want to take granite, I want to take gari, or whatever you want to take.
Yes.
But if you ask someone that can really calculate it for you, just tell you that when is it time for you to take this? This is the quantity you should take. It relieves you. It makes you feel fine because you are not actually consumed beyond what you have to consume.
Okay, how about we're talking about diabetes mellitus, prevention, prevalence, management, self-care, and all of that. Now, I've seen people eat beans in the morning, beans in the afternoon, beans in the night, because they are trying to
control the sugar.
Is that good enough?
It's not good at all. It's not good at all. So we have good food groups, and we have variety there. If you want to eat balanced diet, you have to eat varieties.
So you don't stick
you
to
don't
beans,
stick to like beans, plantain. You can eat every food when you have diabetes. If that food is portioned well,
a diabetic can eat every food.
I'm telling you, if that food is portioned well and counted very well, you can eat.
This counting is a problem for a lot of persons. Do you now go and buy a scale?
No.
To start measuring your food, because you're saying count it, and somebody out there is wondering, what am I going to use to count it? Am I going to buy a scale? As if I want to, when you go to the market to buy fish, meat, they kind of scale it. Is someone going to buy a scale now to start measuring the food? And if yes, what's the measurement like?
Okay, we have household measurements.
Okay.
Yes, that household measurement, it could be probably the 10 spoon. Desert tablespoon you are using in your home to count it, because that spoon actually have that 10 meals, the calorie there we have the stipulated calorie.
Yes.
Anytime you are having 10 ml of a particular teaspoon,
Yes.
or tablespoon. So this is 10 ml, and then the food that you have on it have a particular calorie inside. That's exactly what I mean. Calorie, just like we are talking about the gram.
Yes.
You are talking about the energy you have inside that food. Actually being counted when you already know that this is the amount of kilocalorie I'm taking every day. For example, someone is taking 2,000 kilocalorie every day. When you are taking 2,000 kilocalorie every day, that 2,000 kilocalorie actually distributed to your breakfast,
yes,
lunch, and dinner. So when you are with the food you are taking your breakfast, it means that the amount of calorie allotted to that breakfast is what you should be taking when you are eating in the morning. Then the food that will give you that, you calculate it. That okay, if I have this 10 ml of a particular spoon, how many spoons will
yes,
give me this kilocalorie,
okay,
that actually distributed for me in the morning? That's what happened, and does not actually have any difficulty or any problem there. It's what you have at home that you use to measure it. That's why I said it's good to see a professional, to see a dietitian that will help you to count it, along with whatever. Some people, they are not started taking drug yet. Some people they are on drug,
yes,
now. So both of them, both categories, need to see someone that will count the calorie for them,
okay,
which actually help.
So can food alone, you know, I've heard people say, okay, I've been to the doctor is talking about diabetes, okay, I don't want to take drugs because there are so many people who are afraid of taking drugs. And the next thing is, okay, let me just go and be eating beans, let me go and be eating cucumber, let me be eating amala. Can food alone treat diabetes, or can we manage diabetes with only food without using drugs or any other thing?
You asked me a question the other time, and I said, if a patient just be diagnosed,
yes,
as pre-diabetics,
pre-diabetes, that the person is not diabetic yet, but
yes,
the person is close to.
They said doctors send such people, the category of people, to say dietitian to probably to start with diet therapy first.
Okay.
So if that person probably doing well, doctor actually know the best thing to do. But in a case whereby there's a case of emergency, you can't use diet alone. You have to go with drugs. Okay. So there's some situation that you cannot just say, because I'm this, I just have to.
Okay.
I just have to take this all alone, or food all alone to solve my problem. Yes. No, you can't do that. You have to see doctor, and the doctor tell you that, okay, this particular product you have now, you need to introduce this, you need to introduce that. Because diabetes is not something that you can just joke with, that I want to use food alone to control it. It's doctor that will tell you that.
You must take drugs.
Yes.
But this drug, is it for life, or it gets to a point where you can actually stop?
That's why you see doctor give them appointment to come. They monitor them. As that person improves, they actually adjust the drug that person is taking. So that's why when they ask patient to come to hospital, you go to the hospital to see doctor. You can just say, okay, I'm fine now. I don't need to go to hospital again. I think my sugar is controlled now. No. You have to go.
Whether it's controlled or not.
Yes.
You still just have to see a doctor.
Yes,
all right, the number is 052-290-573. I know that by now you want to talk to Mr. Gbenga on what to do. 052-290-573. Give us a call. We're talking diabetes mellitus, relating it to food, your intake of food, exercise, and of course drugs. Okay, so call us. We don't mention names of drugs there, so don't ask us what drug you can use for diabetes. If you're suspecting, if you're going, just go to the hospital and the doctors will see you. Okay, 052-290-573. At this point, one may want to ask, what are the signs and symptoms of diabetes? Because some persons will say, okay, if you drink water, I'll drink water. Somebody was complaining about test, you know, and then he was already scared that he was diabetic. He wanted to go to the hospital, and doctor said, you don't have anything like that. So that people know that it's not all the time, it's not only when you're thirsty that you think you have diabetes. So what are the signs and symptoms?
Yes, we have excessive urination, which is actually common. So people go to urinate often. And then some people actually eat so much, eating, but upon all the eating, you know, the person remain tiny and everything.
Okay, so loss of weight is one of it.
Yes, of course. Yes, of
unexplained
course.
one.
Yes, yes, of course. And again, blood pressure, like the person like start noticing that I can't see the way I used to see before. And sometimes you have pain like probably someone is just use the pin to pinch you.
To pinch your body.
It's just like, how do you I'm feeling now? Probably sometimes you just feel tired. But okay, something's wrong. When that kind of situation happens, not everything you will just categorize as malaria.
Okay.
You go somewhere, maybe if you don't have glucometer, you can just go somewhere to check your blood sugar or go to the hospital direct so to check yourself.
So, like doctor said, it is important to get a glucometer, okay? Sometimes people will say weight has to do with diabetes. If somebody is slim, they say, okay, I'm slim, I cannot be diabetic. Some will say, oh, I'm fat, I may be prone to diabetes. Does that have any relationship with diabetes?
It is. Mostly, people that are actually overweight or obese, they are vulnerable.
Prone to diabetes.
They are vulnerable. They're actually vulnerable to it.
So one has to be very careful.
Very careful, yes.
Wow. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Okay, what is your name?
My name is Jennifer Peter.
Okay, Jennifer, go ahead with your question. Mr. Gbenga is listening.
Please, if it's possible, please, what is else?
I can't hear you. I didn't get that.
Hello?
Hello, please say that again.
I think the someone wants to slim down. Which type of drugs can I take?
You want to take drugs to slim down?
Yes.
Oh my word. Jennifer, how old are you?
I'm 27 years.
You are 27. Are you married?
Yeah.
Are you married?
Yes. No. Yes.
You are married.
Yes.
How many children do you have?
One.
You have a child.
Yes.
So you don't want your child to enjoy you and you want to take drugs to slim down. Okay, Mr. Gbenga, what do you think? Hold on, you will get an answer. Mr. Gbenga, please, what can we do for her? Because she does not need drugs.
Yes, of course. That's the best answer. You don't need drug, ma. You can be on diet. We call it weight-reducing diet. Yes, weight-reducing diet. You can use it to, yes, you can use it to reduce, to slim down. And it's actually, yes.
Okay, I will call a number for you at the end of this program. So you call us again, Jennifer. Okay, I gave you a card. Please attend to it.
Okay.
Yeah, please attend to it quickly so that we'll continue. All right, 0522900573. And let me quickly advise those of you who take drugs to slim down. You will end up killing yourselves, okay? Because most of these drugs, you don't know the composition. You may, okay, no, that's the number. You may just end up destroying everything you have inside of you. Hello, caller, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, what's your name, please? Promise. Okay, go ahead. It's not easy. Okay, Promise says it's not easy to reduce weight. Okay, so talk to us about this weight reduction, please.
Yes, it's very simple to reduce weight. In fact, the weight is one of the things that we consider in treating diabetes. So you must control your weight. You must make sure you check your weight every time, everyone. So weight is important. So we have way of reducing weight if you are disciplined enough and they place you on diet. That diet will help you to reduce gradually. Even when people see you and say, oh, you're actually looking so smart and okay. So diet is okay for you to reduce your weight. I
think what they want is maybe you weigh like 100, 110, 120, and then you want to take drugs within 1 week.
No.
You want to find yourself.
It's not healthy. 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 Please don't try that. So in fact, at least 1 kg is actually okay per week.
Okay.
That's healthy one. So don't try taking drug that will cause something that you will not be able to treat in future.
Okay.
So please, you have a way of reducing your weight when you stick to the right diet. And you
Hello,
meet the
caller.
right person.
Good afternoon. Hello? Hello, I can hear you. All right, 0522905573 is the number. Reduce the audio level on your television set so that we can talk properly. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Hello? Okay, what are the complications that may arise as a result of untreated or poorly managed diabetes?
Yes, no, I was saying something. I was saying something about long-term effect over the time.
Yes.
And we're talking about the kidney issue. It could lead to kidney failure. And then we talk about that leads to foot ulcer, that it can actually lead to amputation. It can actually lead to maybe someone lost his own sight. Blindness. So it can actually lead to, like, you are weak, you cannot perform as a man at home, you cannot allow your husband to near you because you are extremely weak now. And then it can actually cause some heart issue. You have heart attack, heart issue, it can lead to hypertension, it can lead to stroke, a lot of things. So when the diabetes is poorly managed, there's a lot of danger, long-term effect that will cause you a lot of things.
You know, when you go to social media, when you go to Facebook, WhatsApp and all of that, you see all sorts of messages. This concoction will cure diabetes. This capsule will cure diabetes. If you mix this agbo and that agbo together, that's one agbo is herb. When you mix this herb and that herb is okay, some will tell you to introduce a equaquinanology, that kind of a thing to it. Let's look at diabetes and all of this agbo stuff ahead.
Hello?
Okay, before that, hello caller, good afternoon. Okay, tell us your name and ask your question. Okay, how are you? Okay, ask your question, please. Hello? Okay, you just want to introduce yourself on the program, okay? Please, what we're doing here is quite serious, all right? If you don't have any question to ask, don't engage my line. Allow those who have meaningful questions to ask so that they can get help. Hello, caller. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, please, let's go with the question I asked.
Yeah. You know, like I was saying something about polypharmacy the other time.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, people are running away to meet doctor. They are running away that I don't want to be taking drugs.
Yes.
So they want to just get a shortcut.
Because those drugs, you find one skit or the other on social media that these drugs, when you take it for a long time, you can actually develop kidney problem,
In fact,
liver problem,
yes.
heart problem. I'm talking about diabetes drugs now. So a lot of persons tend to run away from that and then engage it. Oh, let's go natural. Let's do natural health.
That's not the best, because your doctor knows the best drug for you to take. So if your doctor is giving you drugs, you know that this particular drug is okay for you. Along with your diet, it helps you. So sometimes when you have concussion altogether like that, there are some concussion that you take that actually hinder you yourself as a person because of negative interaction that will cause with the food you are taking, and then with probably you are taking another drug for hypertension or any other thing.
Yes.
So it goes like that, which can actually break you down. Now, when you are taking drugs and you are taking some certain food, in fact, in management of diabetes, we have some food that you can take mainly for morning. The food you can take mainly for afternoon. The food you can take mainly for evening. And there are some food that when you take them, you cannot take some certain fruit with them. Okay. Which can actually cause your stomach upset and can lead to something else. So in that kind of situation, we make sure that everything we are giving patients that have complication, we make sure that the person is taking the right thing. That's why your doctor will write to you, go and meet a dietitian, because he or she knows that drug and the food, they have something in common. They share the same enzymes. So if you are taking some drugs and with some certain drug, it might not work properly. It might hinder that drug to work, or hinder your food, the nutrient in your food to be available. That's why you see some diabetic patients, they just tiny nutrition is a major something. What we are concerned about diabetes now is this hypoglycemia and malnutrition.
Malnutrition.
It's common everywhere. You see people like they're just standing, they are afraid to eat food now. They cannot eat the food the way they want to eat it. They are afraid. They are running away from food. And they are dying gradually. Nobody to help them. They are going out there to go and buy concussion, to go to market and buy a lot of things, and then they are taking it together. And it's actually killing them gradually. Then when the thing now actually get to a level that they cannot handle again, they rush them down to the hospital. And it might actually be late. These are the things we are trying to teach people.
Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Okay, please tell us your name again. Hello, what's your name, please? Oh, Chidi. All right, thank you for calling. How is Abuja today? Yes, I got your name. Go ahead with your question, Chidi. I heard you. Hello? Wait, yeah. Yes. The normal weight of a man. How old are you? How old are you? Okay.
Is what?
It's 40.
It's 40. Your height.
What is your height? How tall are you?
Do you know your height?
Okay, he's 5 feet plus, he's 40 years old, so he wants to know what his weight is supposed to be.
Okay, you are 40 years old. Let me just give you one. Well, let me give you one analysis now. So if you are about 1.5 something, just don't let me call the formula on here. Let me try and do it for you here. Or when they call my number, you call me. So I tell you if the time permits us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Chidi, stay with us on the program, and we'll see what we can do. All right. At this point, is it necessary to visit a dietitian, whether you're diabetic or not? You want to lose weight, like Chidi that wants to know what the normal weight is and all of that, because a dietitian is somebody that most people don't want to go and see. I can't just sit down and say, let me go and see a dietitian in the hospital, I beg, or let me call a dietitian to, you know? Yeah. We don't see it as necessary.
That's the issue. You know, I was telling you the other time, like, a lot of us believe that it's not food.
Mm-hmm.
Food.
We have been eating food now.
I've been eating food. I'm be like this. So why would someone tell me about food? Like a lot of things you need to learn about food. Food itself is a cause and is a science that need to be applied properly. So not the way you apply drugs, is the way you should apply food.
Really?
I'm telling you, but people don't know. If you eat fine, I'm telling you, if possible, you cannot. You
know, eating fine is relative, and eating fine has a lot of implication. For somebody, eating fine means going to a restaurant, eating 30 pieces of meat,
that's not
15 wrap of amala or eba or whatever swallow, that's eating fine.
Yes.
For others, it is like eating a bowl full of rice with assorted meat and all of that, that's eating fine. Because when you say eating fine, you have to be very specific now.
Okay, yeah, good. What I mean by eating fine, you are eating the right proportion of food you ought to eat. And all the groups of food represented in your food, probably in your meals, each meal you are taking. What I mean by eating fine is I'm telling you to eat healthy, to eat balanced diet, to eat nutrients that will help your body, that will make you strong, or to eat nutrient-dense food. That's what I mean by eating fine. It means that if you are taking carbohydrate, the proportion of carbohydrate that have to go along with the work you do is represented. The protein you need, what kind of protein can I eat? Is it animal-based protein? Is it plant-based protein I need to take? What kind of carbohydrate will I take? Is it complex or simple carbohydrate? This is what I mean by eating fine. So when you do those things, it means that you are having all the food group represented in your food, and you are taking the right proportion you ought to take, not more than, not below. That's what I mean by eating fine. And then sometimes, like, people don't really understand. There's some as old now, they have their menu table. And they follow it. This wall we ought to eat Monday morning.
Is it important to
yes,
have
of course.
a menu table?
I'm telling you, there's some food probably in a week.
So every household should have.
You should have
like a timetable.
It's actually give you some belong that okay, this is what I'm taking, and then your children they key to it, and when they are growing up, they follow the pattern, they follow the method you are using. They don't have issue. I don't know, like sometimes there's some people they if you ask them now, when last did you visit the hospital, they will tell you that it's below that visited hospital.
Because they are eating right.
Because they are eating the right food.
So the implication is this: if you don't eat right, you will now start taking your drugs as food.
And let me now tell you something. Every food that you eat that contains a lot of sugar bring down your immune system. Naturally. So what we are saying now is anytime you are eating food, the right combination needs to be properly done with your plan. You plan well, you modify well, you portion it well, you prepare it well. That's what we mean by eating right. Not that you go to the restaurants now and then you want to prove that you have the money. You buy 5,000 meat and then you buy 100 naira fufu and then you are showing to everybody that you have the money. No, you are telling them that you want sickness. That's what you are telling the people that are around you if they understand. Nobody should actually be kind of carried away the way you are eating that. Okay, this person has money. That person he or she does not have money. Because people that have money, go and check the way they eat. They eat the right proportion, or go to people that really have money. They eat right. That's what I mean.
Okay. All right. 0522905773.
And for that sister that asked about is weight the other time, I calculated.
That's Chidi.
Yes, Chidi. At least she should weigh about 70.2 kg.
Okay, so that should be his normal weight.
Normal weight, yes.
So anything more than 17.2 kg is a problem.
Yes.
All right, Chidi, if your weight is more than 7.2, then you know that 70.2, then you know that there's a problem. You should start a gym or cut down on food or whatever you need to do to slim down. But do not take drugs to slim down.
It's
because those drugs will damage your kidney, your liver, your intestine, or whatever it is that you have inside. And before you know what is happening, you're down with serious terminal ailment. All right, let's see if we can take a call or two before we wrap up on the show. And for those of you who want to speak with Mr. Gbenga later, you can quickly do that on 0806277 okay, 62119900. 08062119900. So you can put a call across to that number, particularly Chidi and the young lady who wants to slim down, who is 27. For goodness sake, you don't need drugs. You will kill yourself if you decide to use drugs to slim down. All you need to do is change your lifestyle, your habit. Because some of us think eating right also includes, after eating that big bowl of eba, pounded yam, or whatever it is you're going to eat, the 30 pieces of meat or more or less, the best thing is to top it down with a bottle of cold soft drink or alcohol. That's quite dangerous. You
yes, of course. Yes, of course. Because even though we forbid,
because that's enjoyment of all.
We forbid people that are diabetic. We forbid them alcohol and all these refined carbohydrates and the carbonated drinks.
Okay. All right, 0522905773 is the number. Let's see if we can do one more call before we wrap it up on the program today. Hello, caller. All right, what we're waiting. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please tell us your name.
You are speaking to Mr. Agabiata.
Okay.
The question I want to ask is a diabetic patient. What type of food should we not eat?
Okay, what type of food should a diabetic not eat?
Majorly, like anything that has sugar. I'm talking of all those refined sugar now. The diabetic should abstain from those ones. Like you take Coke, or you take plenty. Some people, they cannot take pap without adding plenty sugar inside. It's dangerous. You can't take those things. Or people that have hydrogenated food. What I mean by hydrogenated food, I'm talking of people that like frying food. Sometimes we can actually tell you not to take it if we don't have malnutrition yet or eating hunger. But if at those two, there's some situation we can actually ask the patient to take fried food because we want that person to improve in weight. And then eating fried food, we need to like make sure that it's not in excess. That person have to eat it right. Not only that, the people that probably like caffeinated things or caffeinated tea, caffeinated diet, we ask them not to take it when they are on drugs, and then when that complication have already set in diabetics. So these are major things. But let me tell you, sometimes we forbid all cassava products sometimes, but not necessarily. In some cases of patient, we can give cassava products if that patient is well disciplined.
Okay.
We can give and we portion it. That's why I said diabetic patient can take any food,
but you need to see your doctor.
Calorie need to be counted.
Okay. All right, Oga, you can actually eat anything if you are counting the calories. The problem again is counting the calories, because a lot of persons will not know. So your best bet is to see a dietitian. It is only a dietitian that can help you, train you on how to count calories, and also train you on how to make your food.
How to prepare it, yes.
Yes, on how to prepare your food. It is not just everybody, because when you're diabetic, it's hard for you to eat outside.
Yes,
it's difficult for you to eat outside.
You can't eat outside.
Okay, but if you see a dietitian, the need to see a dietitian is imperative. The need to go to a government hospital when you're diabetic or have any other major illness is important, because you will see a lot of consultants, specialists in that field that will attend to you.
Yes,
and because this one that you want to be penny wise, pound foolish will not do you any good. Because it is not every doctor that treats all ailments, but some doctors are not even helping the society because of this money issue. You are a doctor, that is not your field, but you want to put yourself in it so that the money can come to your hospital. I think that's very bad. Make referrals.
Yes, of course. Yes,
save somebody's life.
Yes, of course.
At least if that is done, you know.
We are getting there.
Okay, so what's your advice now to those who are diabetic or pre-diabetic as we round up the program?
My advice to you, please, I want you to eat right. And then in the morning, make sure you take light food that prepare you for your daily activities.
Okay.
Don't take swallow in the morning. You are not a footballer. You're not someone that will go to there and play ball the following day. Don't take swallow. Sometimes it's not actually good to take swallow in the evening. Some swallow in the evening.
In the evening.
Yes. And then the time interval, the time frame, feeding interval is important. If you are not giving yourself 5-hour interval, the meals, you might not get your blood sugar control.
Okay.
So you have to read the time, the right time, that being stipulated for you. You follow it up.
Okay.
And make sure that you do exercise.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga, for finding time to be with us on the program. Do a follow-up by calling this number 08062119900. It's a number that is easy to remember, 08062119900. So there's a wrap on the program today. I pray for you. I wish you good health. And it is, of course, in your hands to make that happen. Thank you very much for being on the show. We'll see you again on Monday. We'll see you on Thursday, actually, on radio, okay? So stay with us on 92.3 megahertz FM. That's Thursday by 3:15, immediately after the 3 o'clock news. We'll come on air. Thank you for being with us. Bye-bye.